want you to close your eyes and imagine you are teaching in your dream business, your dream music teaching business. Now I want you to envision, where are you? And more importantly, who are you teaching? Okay, now open your eyes. Hey, I'm Miss Deb, creator of Tiny Tinkle's Little Musician Series. And I want you to ask yourself those very questions. And in below the comments, I want you to answer those questions. Where are you? And who are you teaching? What is your dream? What does your dream music teaching business look like? Now, your ideas are probably a lot different than Sally down the road. And we want your ideas to be different. We want you to shine like the teacher that you are. You have special experience and you have special skills that nobody else has. So we need you to market exactly what you are going to give to your customers. Type in the comments, where are you and who are you teaching? Now, if you don't know the answer to those questions yet, that's okay, because we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about all the different options that you might have never even thought about. How can you build your business so it fits you exactly? I want you to have a very successful teaching business. Now, in order to do that, we need to plan precisely what is going to work. So there's a lot of things that you're going to have to keep in mind as we make our final decisions. So let's get started. Okay, let's look at that first question. Where are you? Are you in your home studio? Are you at a preschool or a daycare? Are you maybe renting a community space like a rec center or classroom somewhere? Or maybe you're renting a church. Maybe you have a commercial studio. No matter where you are going to teach, you need to keep this in mind, because everything that we do in these next episodes is going to be highly dependent on that answer, okay? You're going to have to think about how many people you're going to be teaching. How many people can you actually teach in that space of your dream business? Maybe you don't even have a place yet, and that's okay too. We're going to help you to find the exact space that you are looking for. And if it isn't quite the exact space, maybe it's for now, and soon after you build up your business and you build up your clientele and friends are telling friends, you'll be ready for the bigger space. But let's just get started and dive deep in to where you want to be teaching. So the benefits of teaching in a smaller studio space, say perhaps in your home, is you don't have to pay rent and you have lots of deductions in your home costs that you can write off. Every country is different, so I'm not going to go too broad into that, but definitely talk to your accountant, and if you don't have one, call one up because they'll have all kinds of money saving tips for you and your taxes. So those benefits of teaching in a small studio are really fantastic because you're going to make a lot more profit. The less amount of rent that you have to pay, the less amount of money you have to make up for classes each week. Now, if you're teaching in your home studio, maybe you don't have a whole lot of space. Maybe you only have space for 1 or 2 kids, and that's totally fine. Absolutely, you can use Tiny Tinkle's Little Musician Series for small groups and for one-on-one, okay? So keep listening, because maybe I'm going to give you some more ideas here. Maybe you want to rent a facility. Maybe you want to rent a little classroom or a community space, and that is an excellent idea. There's almost always a community space. It could be at a library or a recreation center, or maybe it's even part of a school. You need to find all kinds of options. You know what? Maybe you could be teaching in a dance studio and renting one of their rooms. I've done that myself, and it worked out excellent because they already have clients that come every week, right? So they're used to that space. could be a really good opportunity. Or maybe you want to go into preschools or daycares and you want to use their space and teach their kids who are in their classes, right? So these are all opportunities for you to grow. And you don't necessarily have to choose just one. You could choose many of these different avenues. For example, I teach at a church. I lease it so that I can keep all of my stuff there, and it works out perfectly for me. There's washrooms for my guests to use. There's a really big entrance and excellent parking. So I love teaching at the church that I'm at. You don't have to be confined to one type of teaching. You could choose multiple options, more options for your families to choose what fits them best. The disadvantages of renting a facility, well, you need to have liability insurance, which you should also have if you have a studio inside your home, and it might be transferable. So you might want to ask your insurance provider about that. Another disadvantage, travel time. If you're traveling in between different places and you're carting all your instruments and props, well, that can be a little tiring. So that's something to consider too, right? Sometimes it's nice to just have one place to go to where you can keep all your stuff. So let's talk about the second question. Who are you teaching? Okay, so are you teaching preschoolers? And would you like to group them all together? So maybe you have a preschooler that's 3, and maybe you have a preschooler that's 5, and some 4-year-olds, and they're all in the same class. You can totally do that. But you need to tell people that's what you're doing so that your customer know exactly what to expect. Or maybe you want to split your preschoolers up. Do you want to have a 3 and 4-year-old class and a 4 and a 5-year-old class? Or maybe you're just having a 3s class and a 4s class. The choice is up to you. Sometimes your registration will dictate how you hold your classes. If you've only got 3 kids, well, you're not going to split them up in a different group. They're all going to go together. Then you also got to wonder, are you going to invite the parents to participate or the caregivers? Maybe some kids have nannies or grandparents. And do you want them to be a part of the class? Are they supposed to stay during the class and just sit in a chair and observe? Or are they supposed to be sitting on the floor with the child participating and modeling all of the actions and behaviors that you expect them to? Having a clear class composition is important to the parents. They want to know what to expect because there's other group classes that they register for, and they probably have some sort of ideas in their mind as to what they're expecting, and it might be totally different than what you're offering. So it's always good to let parents know exactly what services you are offering. So if you're having parents and you're having kids, now you need to think about how much space do you have in the room? How many parents and how many kids can you fit? Or how many kids can you fit? How many people that will be paying will fit in your classroom? That's the next question. Because if you don't know the size of how many kids you can fit in your classroom, you can't really choose how much the lessons are going to cost. You need to have a clear plan in place so that your lessons will be profitable. You need to be able to make money, because if you don't make money doing these classes, well, then there's not really much point in teaching them. These classes take a little bit more energy. Okay, I'm lying. They take a lot more energy and they take a lot of organization too. Or perhaps you are a daycare or a preschool owner and you want to add music into your daily classes. And you can totally do that. And you can make your people pay more for that. You can have a music teacher come in and teach the class, or you could teach the class yourself. The secret to growing your dream business is in organization, knowing your numbers, and affordability. If your classes are well thought out, well planned, and priced accordingly, you can achieve your dream business. In the next video, I'm going to break down all those steps that you need to follow in order for you to build your business into the most successful dream business that you always imagined.